Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of MetsMania. Jax is back this week. He had something going on last week, but he's here today. Jax, how are we doing on this great Monday night?
I'm doing amazing. If I had a nickel for every time the Mets had a new gimmick and they got 7 wins in a row, I had 2 nickels. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Which is weird, but it's kind of crazy how that's happened twice. Shout out to our new Lord and Savior, baseball god Pablo Sanchez.
I want to talk about it later because I have kind of a negative opinion on that. I'm not a big fan of gimmicks.
We'll get into that. But let's start off the show with some positive talk. First and foremost, we've got to talk about what happened last night and the nights before that. Sweep in San Francisco, 7 straight wins for the Mets. I mean, these guys are just playing incredible baseball right now, to say the least.
I mean, coincidentally, after I haven't been to a game, they've won 7 in a row. I mean, the offense has been kind of shaky with runners in scoring position, but last night was perfect. I mean, you had Ronnie Mauricio going 4 for 4. I mean, you had primetime Ronnie. He put one into McCovey Cove. He looked amazing. And are we going to talk about trade deadline stuff? Because I want to talk about that. Ronnie Mauricio.
We have a whole segment just for that.
Good. Ronnie looked good. Soto with another bomb. I mean, the only nitpick I have with this series is Lindor. I know he had that solo shot in the Friday game, but you couldn't ask for more. They took care of business on this West Coast trip, and hopefully they do it tonight and this week with the Padres.
That's going to be a pretty good series against San Diego, but we're going to dive into that a little bit later because we have a lot to get into today, starting off with obviously the sweep in San Francisco. I mean, shout out to the Mets pitching staff over the last 3 games. But more specifically, shout out to the Mets bullpen. 3 straight games, 3 straight shutouts from the bullpen.
Right. I mean, you had Gregory Soto, who looked amazing. Reed Garrett looked shaky, and Edwin Diaz, my God. Every time on a West Coast trip, he gets into trouble, and he locked in after walking the bases loaded with 1 out, I believe. That scared me. I thought we were going to blow it, especially with Matt Chapman, who had 2 home runs already. And speaking of, Matt Chapman had Kodai Senga's number. Kodai Senga's looked shaky since coming off the IL.
Matt Chapman is, in my opinion, the ultimate feast or famine hitter because he's literally the definition of home run or strikeout.
Yeah.
He doesn't ever hit for average, and he's always got high home run numbers. So he's literally
like 30
home run
a year.
Exactly.
He's like Joey Gallo in his prime.
Joey Gallo. What a guy he was. And yesterday I learned that apparently Dom Smith is on the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, there's so many.
Because of course
Mets.
he is.
There is ridiculous how many former Mets are Giants. Because last year Conforto was a Met. Obviously, Wilmer Flores has surprisingly been a Giant longer than he has a Met. That's crazy to hear. And now you have Dominic Smith. They love getting former Mets who are mid now.
I don't understand it, but what can you do? It's hard to understand everything that's going on.
I don't understand that move. That made me so nervous when we I think it was Reed Garrett, and then we put in Brooks Raley, and they pinch hit Dom Smith for Wilmer Flores. I thought Wilmer Flores was gonna break the game open right there. I
would not have been shocked one bit if that happened. But on to more of the stuff. You had Juan Soto with, I would say, one of his first big moments in high leverage situations with that no doubter in the 7th inning. I believe it was the 7th or the 8th inning. I think it was the 7th inning is when the Mets took the lead in that game.
It was the 7th. And then the 8th inning, because Ronnie went, they almost went back-to-back not even close. But,
and Jax has been having more network issues again.
Yeah. That's all I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. Keep going.
No, that's basically it. I was just remembering the game. I think usually the 6th or 7th inning they both hit those home runs.
Yeah, Ronnie hit one into McCovey Cove, and the call was so bad. Michael Cole went on I'm pretty sure it was Meet the Apple. It was some Mets pod, and then he gave a much better call of that. So yeah, shout out to Michael Cole, one of the biggest Mets fans.
I would say, dude, I can't think of the play-by-play guy, Carl Ravitch. He is a terrible announcer. He looked pissed when he that Soto home run. I don't know if you saw the booth. He looked almost furious.
It's almost like that's what I've been saying for the past 4 years. They do not like us at all.
I mean, it's pretty obvious ESPN is not a fan of the Mets. Every time, like, it's crazy how big of a deal when the Mets had that like cold stretch. All you heard was like, "Oh, the Mets have lost 12 of the last 13." The Tigers have done this. They've done the same thing recently. The Dodgers have done the same thing. The Yankees have the tie for the second worst record.
No, but they've been
13.
talking about it feels like we never don't hear about the Yankees. It feels like that's all I hear is about the Yankees at certain times. By the
Yeah.
way, I don't want to jump to conclusion, but once we start the Know Your Foe segment, we are able to read off the lineup because that did just come out, but we'll get to that
Oh,
in a little bit. But
I
yeah,
think
that's pretty
Cease is
much
pitching tonight. Hopefully, a lot of
he is.
lefties.
But yeah, that's the long and the short of it on the San Francisco series. As we move on to our next topic, and this is one that I feel is going to be really, really interesting and really, really controversial. One thing was the key factor in that series against San Francisco. And as everybody likes to call it, I'm going to use the same name. It's easy. It's the baby Mets, Vientos, Lindor, or not Lindor, Vientos, Mauricio, Beatty, and Alvarez all have, well, not really Brett Beatty, but in other games, Brett Beatty's had some very meaningful contributions. The real question is because all two of them are linked in trades. One of them is pretty much all out on trades. The other is still kind of floating around there on the trade market. What do you do with these four?
I think the one you have to trade, in my opinion, is Mark Vientos. I think out of these four, he has the least amount of potential out of them all. I really like Brett Brady a lot. I think he's been playing a lot better since June. I mean, actually, June he had that cold stretch. In July, he's been a bit better. Obviously, did an amazing May, but Alvarez has looked amazing since being brought up. This is the Alvarez we thought we were getting from 2023 on. So Alvarez has looked amazing. He is an untouchable. So is Ronnie Mauricio. Ronnie Mauricio, I think, out of these four guys, has the most potential out of them all. He's almost a five-tool player. He can hit from both sides of the plate. His like player like comp, in my opinion, is Ellie De La Cruz. I see it a lot. He has a lot of pure raw power. I don't see a world why we trade Mauricio. I think it'd be stupid if we do. Vientos is the one that needs to be traded. I don't know how much his value is in the sorts of like Mauricio or Beatty, but hopefully maybe we carry that like how clutch he's in the postseason or his 27 home run season last year. I'm just not a big fan of Vientos. All he is really a DH. I mean, I know he had that good defensive day in I believe it was Friday or Saturday he played third base. He looked good defensively then, but he's just a DH. He's terrible defensively, and we already have like three third basemen already. We could get rid of Vientos.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like it's very difficult to, maintain like that kind of stability with those kids. And I feel like that to me is one of the biggest dilemmas within this baseball team is what are you going to do with these kids? What are you going to do with these kids? You can't play them all. What are you going to do with these kids? So that I feel like is going to be the main story is going to be between Mauricio and Vientos. I think it would be idiotic if we traded either of them. There's
I
another name on here, and I want this guy traded, and I mean it, and his name is Luis Angel Acuna. I
Yeah,
want this dude traded,
dude. I don't know if you
period.
heard on the ESPN cast or the broadcast. They said we're in talks for like the Astros. They want an infielder. I'm praying they're
Interesting.
not talking to Mauricio. I hope somehow they want Acuna. That would be the best case scenario, but I doubt it.
Question is, though, what would we be getting from the Astros?
Dude,
That's the big
I
question.
don't know. Maybe a bullpen piece. The thing is, though, I don't know Acuna's value at all. I think we should have traded him last offseason when he had value because he looked amazing. He looked like Francisco Lindor when Francisco Lindor was out for a week. But like all that Acuna can do, he's fast. And has a solid glove. He has no talent. I guess he can hit for contact. I don't know Luis Angel's like value to this team coming October except for like pinch running. That's
Yeah,
it. He's like
I don't want contact bats. I want guys that are going to be consistent at the plate, going to be
right.
putting up good numbers,
Which
going to be,
I think so. I don't want to give up on Vientos at all, but I just if you look at like his strikeout rates from last year and how they've correlated to this year and his regression, I hope maybe like the start of the second half he's looked better and his at bats have looked better. I don't want to give up on Vientos yet, and maybe if he performs better in the second half, we can maybe trade him in the offseason, maybe get like another pitcher or whatever we need in the offseason. I don't want to give up on Vientos quite yet. kind of a Vientos fan. Obviously, I'm gonna hate on you if you suck, and Vientos fucking sucks. But I'm still gonna ride on this Vientos train. I don't think we should trade him quite yet. The only baby Met we should trade is Acuna. He has no value whatsoever on this team.
Yeah, and that's like someone that you have to trade. It's not that it's an
Right. Because
uncomfortable
where? I mean,
conversation.
what? He's not gonna. Where is he gonna play in Syracuse? I mean, we have Jet Williams playing short. I mean, I think Jet Williams is in Double A, but he's like projected to come up next year. I don't. What's the
I think
point of
Jets in
having?
AAA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I
I'd have
think.
to take a look at that.
But still, like I don't see. I think Acuna can be like getting reps on a team like the Astros, who need a second baseman pretty badly. He could be a starter somewhere else on a shitty team or just a bench player. I just he's not a bench player on the Mets. I think I'm not a fan of Acuna. I think he could be better on a team like the Astros where he can play every day.
So, yeah, I feel like the baby Mets are going to be, something that's going to be talked about for the next 4 days.
Please do not trade Mauricio.
Yeah,
I'm
Ronnie
hoping.
needs to be the long-term third baseman unless you end up getting a guy like a Jose Ramirez, which you're not going to. Let's be honest. So, you mentioned trade deadline earlier today. I just want to remind you folks that coming up this Thursday on July 31st, me, Jax, and a bunch of other people on this media team, along with some other friends and guests, will be doing our third annual trade deadline stream. You can find us both here for the final 3 hours of the deadline. It's going to be a ton of fun.
Is it the deadline?
Hopefully,
Sorry for that
Thursday,
plug. It's Thursday. Does the trade deadline end at 6 p.m.?
6 p.m. So we'll be going
Isn't
live from
that
3.
isn't
Yeah.
that different? Like I swear it ends at
No,
like
it's like
4.
4 o'clock. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. So we'll be live from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. But instead of doing a regular trade deadline conversation, because we could do that for hours, I came up with something a little bit differently. So we're going to play a little game called buy or sell. Now, I'm going to show you 6 trade deadline targets that I think the Mets are the most linked to, starting from the most unrealistic to the most realistic and the top targets. So we're going to start off with a guy that I think the Mets absolutely should go for from the Cleveland Guardians, Stephen Kwan. Buy or sell?
I'm gonna go sell. I think I've heard he has a lot of You're gonna gonna give up a lot for Stephen Kwan, which makes sense. He's a good contact guy with a good glove, and I don't know how he can play center field because he's a primary left fielder. I'm gonna go sell. I'm not a fan of prospect hugging, but I think you should prospect hug for Stephen Kwan. I think you're gonna have to give up a lot for him, and clearly know what the Guardians are doing. They make the playoffs somehow with a bottom 5 payroll, so I'm gonna go sell.
Yeah. For me, I think I need to hear the haul on Stephen Kwan before we really go any further. I'm going to say buy because I feel like it's Cleveland. You could probably lowball them. I mean, granted, I don't know if you're going to be able to lowball them as bad as you did the first time, but like, hey, you take your chances. And I think he would be a perfect, 7 or 8 hole hitter for the Mets, getting that bottom half of the lineup.
Maybe even 9 hitter. Maybe be our second leadoff guy.
I would love that. See, that's what I was thinking originally. But yeah, that would have been my thought on Stephen Kwan. As much I really want this dude, and I would be very happy we did. All right, so second on the list, this guy recently just started becoming into conversations for the Mets, and it's Brandon Lau.
Oh, I'm easily gonna have to go sell. I know the Rays are gonna be sellers now, but I don't know. The Mets don't need a second baseman.
And by the way, talk about a fall from grace. I mean,
yeah,
the Rays.
The Rays have fallen off. I thought they were gonna be.
The Rays fooled us again.
I thought they were gonna be in first place in what was it, July, because they were hot. Or yeah, I think it was June or July. Whenever the Yankees were starting to fall off, I thought they were gonna be in first place. I really liked what the Rays are doing, but they've just collapsed. I'm going to go sell. The Mets don't need another infielder. We have plenty of guys who play second base. We have 4 guys on our roster right now who can play second base. I'm going to go easy sell.
Easy sell. Okay. I wouldn't have said easy. I'm going to go with a sell on this one. But it all depends on the haul. Like, if it's, say, a Vientos type deal, I would do it. But if I hear the name Ronnie Mauricio, I don't care what the Rays are offering me. I'm calling them right now. And I hear the word Ronnie Mauricio, hang up the phone immediately. I don't want that guy. I want nothing. I do not want to give up Ronnie for Brandon Lau. I think Brandon Lau is a great player, don't get me wrong. But unless you're comfortable with Jeff McNeil in center field full time, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's like I don't like McNeil in center field. I love McNeil, but center field, I don't think he can play that. I think this is like his first year playing center too.
All right, so target number 3, and technically target number 4, and this is in a package deal. I would do this in a heartbeat. Johan Duran and Griffin Jacks.
Buy, easy buy. You know how stacked this 7th, 8th, 9th? Like, this team would win the World Series.
Reed Garrett would be our 6th inning pitcher.
Yeah,
Gregory
and then
Soto
you have
5th inning, 6th
exactly.
inning as well.
Your bullpen is stacked. If you get this, the haul is going to be expensive, no doubt about it. But it is worth it when you're 7th, 8th, 9th. It's going to be lights out, especially in a postseason, which this postseason is going to be like up for grabs. I have no clue who's going to be the World Series favorite. Easy buy, easy buy.
RJ says, what would you be willing to give up for Duran and Jacks?
The only untouchables are Benj, Mauricio, and Tong. I would trade McLean and Sproat.
You would trade McLean.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
But you would keep Tong. Why? Please tell me.
Tong is way better.
No.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Please tell me.
He's already had the 10 people. He's in Double-A, and people are already comparing him to Tim Lincecum. I want this guy on my team. I think he pitched the 2nd inning of the Futures game. He striked out every batter. He is a future ace. I don't know about that. That's a stretch. This guy is going to be potentially an all-star for the Mets. The Mets haven't had a pitching prospect this good since Jacob deGrom. So
my untouchables would be McLean, Tong, Benj, and honestly, that's really it.
Yeah,
and Mauricio. I'm fine with letting Williams go.
I would get rid of Vientos, even Beatty if he was in the talks.
Beatty, yeah.
I would trade Jet Williams.
Jet, we love you, but pack your bags.
This is going to be a haul. I think if the Twins play their cards right, these two should be in a package, and they would get a massive haul. Easy buy for me.
Easy buy. I like that. All right, next up is a name that we heard a lot about in the beginning, but the talks have definitely died down recently, but he's still in the market somewhere, and that's Edward Cabrera of the Marlins.
I saw something when I went on a walk earlier about Edward Cabrera, and we still are in the talks. This is a really good 3-starter. The thing is, though, if you look at the Marlins record, I believe they're like 50 and 54. I don't think they're going to sell this much right now because of how good they're playing. I don't think they're going to buy, obviously, but I think it'll hold off on selling and maybe till like the off season. But I think they could get a lot for Edward Cabrera. I think they could get more off Edward Cabrera than they can Sandy Alcantara. But I would buy. He's a good 3-starter. I think the Mets need a 3-starter. I'm just not confident with guys like Frankie Montas in our rotation by October. I think this is a buy for me.
Yeah. So I just got a text that said from my buddy who's a Pirates fan, would you want me to come on and talk about Mitch Keller? And I'm like, listen, we've narrowed it down to our top 6. The names that were eliminated from the top 10 were the following: Mitch Keller, Cedric Mullins, Jarren Duran, and Byron Buxton. Why? Because I don't want Cedric. I sure as hell would love Mitch Keller, but the Pirates are the stingiest organization in baseball, number 2. Duran is just not happening. Buxton is just not happening.
Yeah.
Period.
And I hope fucking Robert's on this list.
Estevez is a stretch. So for me, I would buy Cabrera, definitely, but it depends on the Hawks. I'm hearing he might be getting more than Sandy. Also, RJ just commented, how could you move off Mark this quick? He was great last year and is hitting now.
Yeah, but if you saw his strikeout numbers from last year and his walk percentage, he was due for regression, and he wasn't hitting the ball. He hasn't been hitting the ball as hard. Looks like no power this year, but that obviously could change. And he's looked good so far the second half, but I would give up on him easier than those 4 guys that we showed: Alvarez, Beatty, and Mauricio. I think he's the least value out of them all. And he can't field.
He's made me look like an absolute idiot, which is very frustrating.
Dude, I thought he was a top 10 third baseman. No,
you and me both, man.
Yeah, I was high on the Vientos trade. I thought he was going to be a superstar. I thought he was like the next Manny Machado. I'm being so serious. He had the swagger and everything. He was going to Knicks games all blonded up. I thought he was a superstar, man.
I believe you. Nathan from the Final Whistle says Mitch Keller is going to cost a bunch of years of control. That's why we ruled him out.
Yeah.
We don't want to give the
And
Pirates.
he's like the perfect, like, Mitch Keller is a 3-starter. He's the perfect 3-starter. So, and he has like a lot of years of control left. You're gonna ask a lot for him. I don't.
We have enough 3-starters right now as it is.
And plus, I think he's under contract. I don't want to be paying the guy too much. I'd rather pay, like, I have Edward Cabrera, who only has years of arbitration left. So
and I would much rather take my chances with Cabrera. So this is a buy for me. Next up, this is where we get to the nitty gritty. The head honcho, Sandy Alcantara.
I think I'm gonna be. I honestly, I'm in like the
this
middle.
is where things. This is where shit hits the fan.
If we trade for him, I expect him to go back to his 2022 Cy Young self. I think Jeremy Hefner, the whole pitching lab the Mets have, can fix Sandy Alcantara. He has amazing stuff still, but like you said, JJ, it just depends on the package. I would buy if we don't have to give up as much. I'm gonna go sell. I just think the Marlins since we're a division rival, they're gonna ask for too much. I think I'm gonna go sell.
I'm hoping it ends up being something really, really because let's be honest, the Tommy John surgery is the only reason that he's having such a bad season.
Yeah. Maybe a change of scenery would be nice.
My guy Eddie says Vientos for Ohtani, who says no.
Exactly. Easy.
The Dodgers, even if they would say yes, Rob Manfred would go out and say, that's not going to work for me, brother. Shout out Hulk Hogan. Anyway, the whole Sandy Alcantara fiasco is just something that's been in my head for a while. At the start of the season, I thought this was our guy.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that this is our guy. And I'm hearing he's going to cost now less than Cabrera. If he's costing less than Edward Cabrera, you have to pull the trigger on this one. Right. Ron Darling said it himself. The first year after Tommy John is never good for a pitcher. Ronnie said it himself. And the man has experience as an MLB pitcher.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is, Sandy is going to cost you a good amount. Edward Cabrera is going to cost you a good amount. But if you could avoid trading any of the core four, do it. Do it and do it fast.
Well said, Gigi. I mean, I completely agree. I just don't think we should be giving up too much. Like, if we don't have to give up somehow McLean or Tong and, of course, Benj, and if somehow the top four, I would be okay with Vientos. Go to my Vientos, fucking sing whatever the Marlins theme song is. Go sing the Dolphins theme song. I would love to have Sandy.
Here's the thing. I don't want to trade Here's the problem with the Sandy trade. Who's the core four, Eddie? The core four is, for me, Carson Bench, Nolan McLean, not Brandon Sproat, Jonathan, and Ronnie Mauricio. Those are my core four.
So you would get rid of Sproat?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that.
I think Sproat just doesn't have
he doesn't have the location. He has the velo, but he doesn't he's been really good so far.
I don't want to sit on my hands and wait for pitchers to just keep developing. Like McLean and Tong could be starting as soon as next year.
Right.
And I'm being serious. And also a guy like Drew Gilbert, I'm going to say this right now. If the Mets do not trade for a center fielder, I swear to God, Drew Gilbert better be on the first flight to Flushing after the trade deadline.
Yeah, honestly, I agree.
He's ready.
Why not? Yeah.
And if you're not going to trade him, call him up.
Yeah, I agree. What hurts, really?
And we're not trying to win the AAA
just send him back
World
down,
Series.
And he can be ready for next year. I don't see the
we're
problem.
not trying to win the AAA World Series. Why is Ryan Clifford not in the core four? I'm glad you asked. Because I have a feeling Pete Alonso is going to sign a 6-year extension this offseason.
Yeah,
and become a Met for life.
Clifford's OPS numbers aren't as good. He strikes out a lot. He does take a lot of walks. I'm mixed with Ryan.
I figured you meant Soto, Lindor, Alonso, Senga, LOL. Yeah, we're talking about prospects.
Yeah,
and that's
I'm gonna
why.
Say, yeah. If we, there's no way. What world we trade one of those?
Those guys are the Fab Four. We're talking about the core.
Honestly, I'd replace Senga with Peterson. I think Peterson's our ace.
That's a very good question. Kodai Senga. I mean, I'm not worried about Senga. He's just
He just came back from injury, man.
Exactly. Not everybody can be Sean Manaea and strike out 7 batters in 2.5 innings, and then still end up getting the loss.
Dude, if we get Sandy, our rotation will be really good.
You get Sandy there. You get Sandy Alcantara. There's your ace right there. You have your guy.
You have a former Cy Young Award winner
who can
give you innings.
Clifford has an 846 OPS. He's having a down year and still hitting tanks.
Okay.
He
has an 846 OPS. Jeez. I did not know that.
He's got a
He must have had a hot stretch or something.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, I think it was in the 700s. Then how is he not in the top 100? I gotta do more research on that.
I have to do a lot more research on prospects too, but hey. Eddie, since you know so much about prospects, feel free to join us on Thursday. But anyway, that's the Sandy talk. There's one more guy that's left. And you know this guy. I know this guy. We all know this guy. You have said it very clearly that we do not want this guy.
I think I know who it is.
But from what I'm hearing, it feels like a no-brainer. The head honcho of head honchos from the south side of Chicago, Luis Robert Jr.
Okay, I'm so confused on Mets fans. They was I'm not gonna trade 1-for-1 for Vientos, because that's what I've heard. That is the Mets fleece. The Mets would fleece the White Sox if it was just a 1-for-1 for Vientos. Luis Robert, if he's not even hitting the ball, he's still giving you amazing defense. What are Mets fans thinking? If it's just a 1-for-1 Vientos, Luis Robert, this is an easy buy for me. If it's more, I have to hear the haul. But I was a big sell. I just think Luis Robert's not going to come back to that 2023 form, but I'm buying it if it's just for Vientos somehow.
Let's be honest. For a long time, you and I both despised this man.
Yeah, but the Mets need a center fielder. I'm so tired of Tyrone Taylor at bats.
Personally, don't trade Clifford, because if Alonso opts out and leaves, they're going to scramble and trade for Vinny Pasquantino.
Vinny Pasquantino's good.
I wouldn't hate that. Do you realize the one thing the Mets are missing on this team is a fucking Italian? It's the one thing they're missing on this team is an Italian. I'm all for that. Yes, please.
What are you talking about? I'm good.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm fine, and he's younger than Pete. Pete could be due for regression.
I would not have made that trade for Spencer Torkelson, but I digress.
Yeah, dude. When last year when we were running against Spencer Torkelson, I was like, dude, there's no way. But he's been having a solid year. But I don't have Pete.
I'm happy with Alonso.
Please have Pete be a Met for life.
Yeah, more than Pete. What do you mean more than Pete? No, he's not. We don't want. If Pete is gone, then there's nothing you could do. We want Pete Alonso as our long-term first base.
He's gonna opt out, but he has to resign. I can't see him going to a different team.
I'll be shocked. Give him that 6-year contract.
I will be shocked if Pete goes somewhere else.
I just wish he took that 7-year 158. Then we wouldn't.
Yeah, he's a dumbass. He's like one of those, he thought he was Judge. He could bet on himself. He had the worst year of his career.
That is true. Pasquantino is fine, but doesn't fit the hole. That's what I'm saying. True. But then again,
he has solid defense and he's a good contact guy.
This ain't about Vinny Pasquantino. This is about Luis Robert Jr. Yeah. All right, we gotta stick to the main point. So, I heard that it potentially would be Mark Vientos and Blade Tidwell. If that's all the White Sox want, if that's all the Sox want, I'm hanging up the phone and saying deal before they can change their mind.
Yeah, that's a easy fleece for the Mets. I don't care what you say. I know he only has 10 home runs. I don't care. This guy, he's so much better than Tyrone Taylor.
And I'm also okay with trading a guy like Mark Vientos to the AL Central.
Right.
See, the reason I'm skeptical about trading Vientos for Sandy or Cabrera, I don't want to trade him within the NL. I sure as fuck don't want to trade him within the division.
Right, and we play the White Sox 3 times a year. I don't. He's not, and plus, it could be beneficial. The Mets could lose a trade. It could be beneficial to Vientos. I mean, he doesn't have much pressure playing in fucking Chicago, the South Side.
Well, you'll have a lot of pressure in Chicago, just not as much as say New York.
Well, yeah, you have a lot of pressure.
You're playing in Chicago.
Yeah, but the Cubs are the main team. It's not like New York where you have a lot of pressure with the Mets and Yankees.
You're playing on the South Side, so there's gonna be a lot of pressure on you because if you suck, then you might get jumped. But regardless, that's a lame Chicago. That's a lame Chicago joke. But anyway, the whole thing about Luis Robert, I'm convinced that just him playing with the White Sox has just deteriorated his confidence.
Yeah, and a change of scenery, going to a team that's had the worst record of all time last year to a team in a pennant race, it's probably going to make him perform even better. I think it's a easy buy, and I like the talent that Luis Robert has. He's fast, has power, good defensively, good arm. He's almost. I'm not going to call him a 5-tool player, but he has talent for sure, and I think the Mets would be stupid if the White Sox are asking for it and they say no. They're fucking stupid. They should definitely get Luis Robert.
I agree 1000%. I feel like now the Robert trade just makes too much sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what a change of heart!
If they try to ask for a top 5 prospect, fuck off. But if it's those
hang
two,
up the phone.
yeah.
I don't trust the White Sox. But like the only prospect that I would trade to Chicago that's like a big name would be like a Jet Williams
Yeah.
or a Jesus Baez. Because
Yeah.
let's face it, they have no spots on this team.
Yeah,
for the near
Jesus
future.
Baez is obviously too young. You can't really he obviously has the talent, but it's obviously too young. He's too young. It's too early to tell. And then what is Jet Williams going to do on this team? Like I don't understand why we drafted him in, I believe, 2023. I don't understand why.
Billy Epler pick.
Yeah,
Straight up Billy Epler pick.
Yeah, Billy Epler's 2 picks have been terrible. I mean, Kevin Parada, holy fuck, he is garbage.
Can we please trade him this year? Like, seriously.
Yeah, he's shit. I think he's done better this year, but still, he's awful.
By the way, within trade deadline talks, I just want to say congratulations to the Atlanta Braves for forming what might be the greatest tanking rotation of all time.
They got Eric Fetty.
Bryce Elder, Eric Fetty, Carlos Carrasco.
Yeah, if the Mets if we go into Atlanta, you cannot lose a series to the Braves. The Braves are horrendous. This is a crazy stat.
That would be their 3-man rotation against the Mets. Elder,
yeah,
Carrasco,
but they're all going to throw like 7
and we'll lose all 3 games. Somehow.
Yeah, they're going to look like fucking Maddox,
Glavine, and Schmoll.
Yeah, exactly. But what's crazy? It's crazy stat about them. Their whole opening day rotations on the 60-day IL. I mean, I don't care because fuck the Braves. But I mean, if you live in Atlanta, I feel bad, but I don't. Fuck, sorry.
I hate that.
Exactly.
I hate that city. I hate everything about Atlanta.
Yeah, but the Mets will still lose 2 out of 3 somehow. Anyways, I digress.
It's tradition at that point. So to bring up Jesus Baez, I was talking with a few people in the MLB Central server a few nights ago, talking about Ryan Helsley potentially to the Mets. For Jesus Baez and Nick Morabito, I feel like that's a pretty good.
It's an easy because Helsley will be a setup man. He's already won reliever of the year last year. I mean, the Mets already have their reliever of the year this year with the closer. But that's a scary 8th and 9th, and then you have
because whoever the Mets get for the bullpen is just going to be setting up Diaz.
Right, and we have multiple options to go to.
Who just might be the best closer on the planet right now.
Yeah, Diaz he hasn't given up a run since April. He's given up 1 run since April 25th.
And it was a sacrifice fly against the Dodgers.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're exactly right. That's crazy. Yeah, because we.
Because he walked in because he hit Taylor Ward with the bases loaded. Those were his only runs that he's given up all season. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, he's been unreal. But it's time for our final segment of the night. Everybody's favorite. Know Your Foe is back again. We talked about the Giants last time. We're talking about an old foe that has been giving the Mets fits in San Diego for years. The Madres are back. It's Mets versus Padres again.
I would look out for maybe you didn't talk about this, but the Padres could be selling in a way. Yeah, they might trade Dylan Cease.
Time for them to talk about this right now, as it is Know Your Foe.
Yeah, Dylan Cease will be starting tonight, and he's had a bad year, and it's a contract year, but they would maybe trade like Luis Angel or Vientos because they want to benefit their team. The Mets could possibly trade for Dylan Cease.
I don't want Dylan.
We'll see how he pitches tonight against the Mets, and we can discuss.
I don't want to trade many prospects because here's the thing: I don't want to trade prospects for a rental. I want to get someone that has control. That's why I'd want a guy like Sandy Alcantara because he has control. Cabrera.
And plus, I don't think Dylan Cease will be re-signing next year. I mean, you're just going to get Dylan.
Exactly. You could probably sign him in the offseason. You could probably sign him for $20 million a year.
But I mean, I look out for Manny Machado has been probably had the best year offensively for the Padres. He just recently
Do
got
you
two.
think that they could potentially trade Machado at the deadline? Because Machado is getting very, very old. He's
Um,
33.
I don't
He's
think.
got some
I
value
mean, the
left.
Padres are in a wild card spot. The only way they sell is their like remaining contracts. Like the only person I think the Padres would sell is Cease, but get something big in return to benefit their team for a pennant push. Uh,
Even like a Gavin Sheets, I could see them trading away. I mean,
Maybe. I think they would get a DH to platoon. I think they need a right-hander DH. I'm surprised they didn't sign like JD Martinez. And
yeah,
they need a.
he's still out there. I'm pretty
I
sure.
know. I'm surprised. He was not bad for the first half of the Mets. He was unwatchable second half, but
Forget
whatever.
about, forget
Um,
about it.
I would look out just for Machado. I was right about your know your foe. I said Austin Hayes, and that same day, the next game he hit fucking 2 home runs against the Mets, and he killed the Mets all series. So I like a pick like that. I mean, maybe look out for Jose Iglesias, maybe trying to kill us because we're
And
playing.
to keep an eye, by the way, and to keep an eye out on the players that like we could potentially trade for. Mitch Keller is throwing tonight in Oracle, so
Yeah, we could
keep
watch
that in
that.
mind. There's definitely going to be some Mets people at that game in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because yeah, someone's going to be taking a
There were a
trip
lot of Mets fans for.
Shout out to the Mets fans for taking over San Francisco once
Yeah.
again. Although Giants fans, I'm sorry if any Mets fans on social media harassed you. You know I love you, but like, get the fuck out of our way and start winning baseball games,
Yeah,
please.
they are collapsing.
You're an embarrassment to watch these last.
How are you getting worse when you get Devers? I don't understand.
Seriously, bro. And you want to talk about Devers? The entire ESPN broadcast for the whole ninth inning was like, and this is going to set up Rafael
Dude,
Devers versus Edwin Diaz.
no,
For like
they hate
5
on the
minutes
Mets. No,
straight.
it was bad. They were like, "Oh my god, this is the go ahead." They kept on talking about that, like they want the Mets to lose. They everyone in that booth.
They're like,
wants the
could
Mets
this
to
be
lose.
Rafael Devers' signature moment in a
Like, why are
Giants
you
jersey?
talking about that? The Mets have a 2-run lead. What are you talking about? But if the Mets were like, if it was Soto coming up, like, oh, this is gonna be an easy strikeout for whoever Doval, like they would. I don't know. It pisses me off, but whatever. They just
Thank
hate seeing the Mets win.
yeah, to hell with ESPN. ESPN Saturday Night Baseball. I don't hate ESPN as a whole. Regardless, let's get into before we get to the pitching matchups. The lineups did drop for the Mets.
This is gonna be a surprise for me. I don't know.
All right, so I'm going to read this lineup off. So we've got Nimmo leading off, Lindor batting second, Soto batting third, Alonso batting fourth, McNeil in center batting fifth. We have Vientos DHing today, Beatty at second base, Alvarez catching, and Mauricio at third base. Holy shit, that is a near perfect lineup.
Yeah, that's a perfect. I would have kept Marte at a DH because he's been sticking a hot bat. Good for Marte actually. I didn't realize how hot he was hitting until like the last series.
I think they're
He's batting,
saving.
like,
I think they're
280.
saving him for a lefty.
Yeah, which makes sense. But I mean, I guess they're playing Vientos so he can have that trade value or whatever.
Yeah.
But
And that San Diego lineup is Tatis, Arias, Machado, Merrill, Bogart, Sheets, Cronenworth, whoever the hell Bryce Johnson is. I don't know who that is.
No clue.
And shockingly still in the league, Elias Diaz, who is batting a
2023
whopping
All-Star MVP.
195 this
Wow,
season.
impressive. Somehow worse than Mets catchers.
That's unbelievable. And then you look at the pitching probables. We've got Frankie Smokes versus Dylan Cease tonight, so might be some fireworks
Home
going on in
runs
that
going
game.
tonight.
Well, I don't know. Montas has looked somewhat decent
Yeah, true.
over those last few starts. Then we've got our tribal chief, Sean Mania, taking on a starter to be determined. Who
Probably
the
like
hell?
a bullpen game for them.
Jesus Christ. Speaking of which, I'm like, of course the Mets are going to struggle in a bullpen game against
Yeah,
the
that was
Giants.
ridiculous. I was about to be. I know we won like 6 in a row before that, but I was pissed. I was kind of franking during that game.
I was not surprised one bit. Thank you. I was not surprised one bit whatsoever.
Some guy you never heard of. Oh yeah, he's gonna make him fucking look like Randy Johnson.
What's his face went like 4 innings yesterday.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
It was.
That guy I don't even fucking know.
I have his name off the top of my head. It was Bivens. Bivens goes.
Yeah.
Spencer Bivens
I
goes
only remember
3
that 'cause he was
innings.
like Michael Givens.
Yeah. And then Wednesday's pitching is going to be Clay Holmes versus another starter to be determined.
I thought
Now
it was
here's
you,
the
Darvish. I
now
saw it.
here's the thing. I've heard Darvish. Now I was talking with Aiden about this recently because he's obviously the only Padres fan that I know. He said the Padres are basically down to 3 starters
Really?
at this point because everybody's like, especially the Giants. You want to talk about
They
that? How bad the Giants have only 3 starters.
Yeah, the Giants need to trade for a guy. Yeah, I mean the Padres are one of those teams that could probably get like Sandy Alcantara or
Supposedly,
like
it is you Darvish on Tuesday and
yeah,
Nick
Dude
Pivetta
Darvish
on.
kills us all the time. So
Damn right he
that's gonna
does.
be
And
fun.
coming back from injury, Nick Pivetta on Wednesday.
So hopefully the Mets can tack up some runs on a freshly injured player, but he's gonna look amazing. I don't know. I don't know why I'm franking so much, even though the Mets have like 1-7 in a row. I should be positive.
You should be positive. And the fact that that dude still has a platform is
I want
ridiculous.
to mention this, and this is a narrative. I don't agree with myself, but I think it should be a narrative. If it wasn't for the Mets like terrible month, and this is the problem with the Mets fans, and I was one of those Mets fans. Like they were acting like the sky's falling, we're gonna collapse. Every team goes through a bad stretch. The Tigers have just done it. The Dodgers, who are like the super team, went through a bad stretch. Every team goes through a bad stretch. It's just baseball. It's 162 games. You're gonna have a
What
bad
have
stretch.
I been telling you the last
If
few
the
years?
Mets didn't have this bad stretch, they would be easily have 70 wins to be the best team in baseball. But do I personally think they're the best team in baseball? No, I think they have a few holes with the bullpen and starting rotation, but I do think this is a good team, and people need to start like realizing it. I think they're underrated for being a first place team. I think you should be watching. The Mets are a scary team.
What do you think I've been trying to tell you?
I need to stop. I gotta relax. I know it's just like me being negative, but you gotta look back and see like
listening to me,
the
man.
Mets are a good team.
Start listening to me.
You're right.
Genuinely.
JJ's always right.
Thank you very much. Anyway, so those are the main pitching probables. I have the Mets taking 2 of 3 in this series. It's going to be a very wild series on this channel specifically because I think, and I can't confirm this, but there's a good chance that we will be streaming all 3 Mets Padres games.
Really?
Potentially all 3. Tuesday and Wednesday is confirmed. Monday is still up in the air unless you want to be the one to take the reins on Monday.
I'll see.
Let me know. The game's in 4 hours, by the way. So we'd have time.
I'm about to get a workout in. I have to see.
Yeah, let me know.
I'm down for
Anyway,
tomorrow.
I got somebody. Gonna be honest with you. We'll let you know. It's either tomorrow,
I'll be
today,
tuned
or
in.
we'll figure something out. Well, I'll talk later. Anyway, we keep falling. The 18-wheeler keeps going off the track, and it's very frustrating. Whenever I get sidetracked trying to do a show.
Nice.
I think the Mets take 2 of 3 in the series. I think they're going to win tonight, and I think they're going to win on Wednesday. I don't know how I feel about Mania on Tuesday against Darvish. Now, granted, it's not the fact that I don't trust Mania. I don't think the Mets are going to give Mania run support.
I agree. I think it's gonna be one of those like 1-1, like at 8th inning, the Padres take the lead kind of game. It's gonna be like one of those
happens every year we play the Padres. A game like
it's
that
gonna be a close game. It's gonna be frustrating. The Mets are gonna strand runners on second and third. It's gonna be like one of those like typical games. But I honestly agree. I think they take the rubber match Wednesday. I think they win tonight. Maybe I don't want to say a sweep. That's being too cocky, but I'll say 2 of 3. I'm pretty confident.
I will gladly take 9 of 10. Gladly take 9 of 10.
I mean, I'd like to.
You got the Giants back home the week after.
Right, and I would love a 10-game win streak, but I think it might be asking for too much.
Yeah, so you don't want to be, too too cocky about it. You want to be somewhat humble about it because karma.
We're Mets fans, yeah. We already know about this.
Karma is very, very real with this organization. But my impact players for them, for the Mets, I'm going with a big series from Pete Alonso. He just always matches in San Diego. Yeah. I don't know. He likes playing in California, apparently.
I want to throw in a guy.
He loves playing at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, he's a Dodger killer for sure.
And then he also loves to play at, San Diego. And then for the Padres, I'm going to go with a name that I feel like a lot of people are not giving enough credit to, and that is Jackson Merrill. He also does really well against the Mets.
Yeah, ask Edwin Diaz. But
True.
I think a key player I'd watch out for the Mets at least is Brett Beatty. I just like his swing, and the Padres have a little bit like a short porch over there. I think Brett Beatty could have a huge series tonight.
By the way, I just picked up Edward Cabrera in fantasy baseball, so I am fully investing in him to become a New York Met.
Yeah, but he's gonna suck when he becomes a Met. Thanks
No,
to
he
you.
won't. Stop it.
It'll happen.
No, it won't.
We're gonna get rid of Jet Williams, and Jet Williams will turn into fucking Derek Jeter.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what being a Mets fan has been like over the last 15 years. It's purgatory. No question about it. It is purgatory.
I mean, this franchise is just scared to trade away prospects because of Pete Crow Armstrong. Like, you're gonna fuck up eventually, man. Like, just get over it. It's like an ex-girlfriend.
At least we're not the Mariners.
Yeah, true.
That's the ultimate rotten luck. But thank you guys for watching another episode of MetsMania. For Jack Masuna, I'm JJ Segler. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.